I think we need to have a conversation on why it is that you're just not going to be able to change her.
Going viral, the latest so-called hot mugshot. This comes from Morgan County, Georgia. 20-year-old Lily Stewart was arrested after an officer pulled her over for speeding and then gave her a ticket. The University of Georgia sorority girl says as soon as she got back in the car, she quote-unquote accidentally started speeding once again. The same officer pulled her over a second time and then arrested her. Stewart says her mugshot looks so good because at the time of her arrest, she had just done her hair and makeup for a birthday party.
She smiled for the mugshot.
So then I'm like, well, like, what makes you, economically Republican? Because, like, I could give you a whole bunch of fucking facts right now that prove that you shouldn't be. And he was like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah." All of his info was from his friends. And I was like, you get all your information from your fucking redneck friends.
Now, guys, before we talk about Miss Lily here, the Georgia sorority girl, I want you guys to know right now that this video right here is going to be kind of split up into two parts. It's basically the same thing, but we're going to be talking primarily about this girl here and why it is that you can't change crazy. And then we're going to be talking about the more political aspects, because the second girl you saw, she went viral for supposedly breaking up with her boyfriend because he was a Republican. I'm here to tell you guys right now that I think something else is afoot, and once again, it does go to the theme of you just can't change crazy, but we'll talk about that over the course of the video, so make sure you guys stick around for the full bit, and let's go ahead and get started. We'll talk about this girl here in a second, seeing how it is that I want to start this video out with something that I very, very rarely do, and that is talk about the other sex. This video is called Why You Can't Change Her. Now, guys, this video right here is going to be touching on a little bit of everything in a very, very short amount of time, so make sure you guys stick around for the full bit. And by the way, this is also going to be a bit of a theme for the day on Monday. I'm not going to be able to get a lot of content out on Monday and Tuesday, so I'm kind of going ahead and getting a bit of a head start. This video was actually supposed to be released on Friday, but I figured I would wait a little bit because there's a couple more things that I wanted to add to this video. And of course, you're probably seeing some TikTok reactions here in the description, the B-roll footage that of course we'll be getting to in video number 2. But I want to go ahead and start with this right here before we talk about that thing a little bit later on the day, that thing called love, and why it is that right now there may be a bit of a love psyop going on. I'll touch on that very, very briefly towards the very end of this video, but I'll get back to that topic a little bit more broadly in the follow-up for the day. And also to go on top of that, the videos that will come out on Tuesday, I'm going to go over this Stephen A. Smith, LeBron James cat fight and the intensification of the cat fight. So make sure you guys stick around for that there. But I just want to go let you guys know that before we fully dig in. So you guys obviously heard that. This girl's mugshot went viral. And I remember thinking to myself when I saw this, because I saw it actually on X. And I saw a lot of guys in the comment section saying, I can change her. Oh, she hasn't met the right man. All that type of stuff there. And I got to thinking to myself, well, maybe they're trolling. But let me go ahead and tell you what would realistically happen if you were to ever come across this particular lady. But of course, before we fully dig into that, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It's the best way to support this channel for free. Also, please cut the notifications bell on. And if possible, please hit that like button for me, so that way this video will stand a much, much larger chance of taking off in the algorithm and getting to a much, much larger audience. Now, guys, this channel right here, I'm trying to get back more to sports and pop culture. But of course, I want to do a video like this right every now and again, so that way you guys can see how it is that I feel about certain situations. And if I can kind of guide you out there, especially given the fact that this channel has a roughly 98% male viewership, I think it's incumbent on me to do something. Now, let's get to the other news report, and then I'll tell you exactly what I was thinking when I saw this particular news report and this particular chick. So let me go ahead and roll this.
Sorority sweetheart who just can't escape the long arm of the law. University of Georgia sophomore Lily Stewart has been arrested again. This time on charges of loitering, prowling, and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Cops first arrested Lily on March 8th after speeding not once, but twice in a span of just 2 minutes. I spoke to Lily after that first arrest.
I'm going again, I'm driving, and then those sirens turn on. He comes right up to me, he pulls me over, and I roll down my window, and he's like, I just gave you a ticket for speeding. Get out of the car, you're under arrest.
Santa baby,
Clearly not camera shy, it didn't take long for Lily's mesmerizing mugshot to go viral, with some on social media comparing her to a beauty pageant contestant. In this most recent mugshot, the alluring Lily charms the camera yet again, this time in a navy blue jail shirt while still flashing that same sizzling smile. She must like jail if she's back again, goes one comment. Have you learned your lesson?
100%.
That didn't last long.
That Santa Baby clip is obviously playing right here in the B-roll footage. You can obviously see that this girl is pretty, let's just say she's attractive. However, this girl also, as you guys saw right then, got arrested again. Now, guys, I want you to think about this really quick. Go back to the very first clip in this video. She got pulled over, then she chose to speed again, got pulled over by the same cop, got arrested, which the cop probably did that there to try to teach her a lesson. Of course, she probably should have just, gotten a ticket the first time, but obviously that right there was not the case. But still, the point is this right here. This right here is one of those faces that lets you maybe think to yourself that maybe this girl is going to be getting away with a lot over the course of her life. Now, Georgia, sorority girl, not trying to make fun of sorority girls or anything like that, but let me tell you what I was about to touch on earlier, because I got to thinking about this, because there's a lot of comments in the comment section on Twitter when I first saw this, going back to what I was saying. She hasn't met the right man. She, I can fix her. Oh, she's in with the wrong crowd. Oh, she's around a bunch of soy boys, and that's why she acts like this. And I'm here to tell you guys right now, and this right is not just personal experience. There's something else going on here that you guys need to think about. Let's just say you come across this chick someday, and let's say you actually date this girl. Let's say you're with this girl for a while. I'm here to tell you guys right now that less than 3 years in a relationship, you're going to have one child. Less than 5 years in a relationship, you're going to have a second child. You're going to be living in a dirty trailer. And then she's probably going to be a stripper, or she's probably going to be on OF. I just know things. That right there's all the hell I'm going to say at this moment in time. But of course, like I said, there would be a broader issue or a broader thing to be discussed over the course of this video that does in fact relate to this mugshot and this girl. And that is this here. You can't change these people. You can't change the ladies. They got to grow up on their own to a certain degree. Now, like I said, you're probably curious why it is that I chose to do this video here, seeing how it is. This is not the type of content that I normally do. But the reason why I wanted to do this is that way young men in particular, can understand that girls like this right here, you're just not going to be able to change. It's just not going to happen. You can't just marry some girl and expect her to change overnight, regardless how sweet she may be or how sweet she may act to you. At some point in time, if she's not been raised right, guess what she's going to do? She's going to do exactly what I just said. She's going to force you into a dirty trailer in less than 3 years. You're going to have 2 kids. Probably not even know the actual DNA of one of those kids. It may be somebody else's. And, of course, she could, in fact, be doing OF at some point in time or working in a strip club. The fact of the matter is this right here. You can't change crazy. That right there is the way the situation is. You really and truly cannot change crazy. However, that right there brings us to the other crazy chick that you guys saw at the very beginning of the video. This girl's video went viral because apparently she chose to break up with her boyfriend of like 5 months because he votes Republican. Now, guys, there's going to be another video coming out a little bit later on that's going to be talking about the PSYOP itself, which, of course, is that that liberal women should not be with conservative men. I'm here to tell you right now that's actually true. They shouldn't be. Let me say this really quick before we look at the rest of this bit. I'm going to show you guys in a second, because this girl is, in fact, insufferable, and you guys will see exactly why it is this relationship did not end and why it is that this is probably projection, and she's probably not telling the truth about what exactly happened in this situation involving this guy who she's dating who is a conservative. But let me go ahead and say this before we go any further, because, like I said before, you cannot change crazy. Most women do not become somewhat conservative or shift moderately to the right coming out of college. What normally happens is that they normally get into a relationship, a serious relationship with somebody who happens to be a little bit more conservative, and they change over time. Do you guys remember the lady that you're seeing right now in the B-roll footage, the liberal girl who suddenly found out that there's no such thing as masculine and liberal man? Let me remind you.
Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age, who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who was not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence. And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role. And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man. But am I asking to have my cake and eat it too?
Yeah, she found out pretty daggone quick that soy boys typically tend not to be masculine. Which brings us back to the other girl that we were talking about, the second girl that we were talking about, the second girl that I wanted to mention, which of course is the girl who decided to end the relationship with her boyfriend after 5 months, which I really don't think that's what really happened here, but let's go ahead and look at the rest of this.
Let me set the scene for you. I was dating this guy. We've been dating for 5 months. And in those 5 months, I was told by my friends, Zoe, he lives in Indiana. He's a fucking Republican. I was like, politics don't matter to me. What was I wrong? And so I was like, it's fine. I don't care. I'm going to get to know him first. We'll decide later. So then we kind of start talking about it. I'm a very liberal woman. So I am obviously like very much everyone knows that I'm a liberal woman. My brother's gay. All my friends are gay. Also like abortion rights.
Wow, this right here just proves more and more what I had said earlier to start this video out. You cannot, under any circumstances, change crazy. You just can't.
Like always ask him. I'd be like, what? Like, what's your politics? Like, where do you lean? And he was just like, well, like socially, I'm a liberal, but economically, I'm a Republican. Fuck that. Okay. Also, he was a 28-year-old man. That's the first red flag, because if there's a 28-year-old man and he's single, there's a fucking reason that he's single. Like, what makes you, economically Republican? Because, like, I could give you a whole bunch of fucking facts right now that prove that you shouldn't be. And he was like, bah, 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 bah. All of his info was from his friends. And I was like, you get all your information from your fucking redneck friends. Obviously, you can't trust them. You need to do the research yourself. And if you do the research, I told him, I was like, I'll support you based on your decision if you actually research it yourself. Like, I won't care if you're a Republican. But anyways, and so he was like, Zoe, I have much better things to do than research politics. Like, I have way more important things to do. Okay, saying that to me is absolutely fucking insane, but go off, king. I also just didn't care at that point. And so I kind of put it on the back burner. I was like, I can't fucking take this right now. Well, then we get into a little spat a couple days before election day, and we almost broke up. And so I was like, nah, it's fine. I'll give him one more chance, blah, 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 blah. Well, then election day rolls around, and, well, actually, before this, he was not registered to vote. He had never voted before, and he told me that he wanted to vote in this election, and I was like, okay, cool, do the research, but that's a whole other thing. And so I could tell he was going to vote against me, let's just say it like that. And so I was like, he is not going to make an educated decision on who he votes for, so guess what? I'm not going to remind him of this voter registration deadline. So then it passed.
Okay, now you guys, you obviously saw that. You guys obviously heard that. And of course, this way will be coming up again in video number 2. So she sees this guy from Indiana. He's 28 years old. She says there's a red flag, which of course is that he's 28 years old and he's not married. I'm here to tell you guys right now, that's not really and truly a red flag for a man, because I think it was Michael Sartain explained in a video that he did a while back in an argument with another feminist. I think he had Andrew Wilson and the guy from Playing with Fire on. I'll try to link the full video in the description box, but look, I know I'm getting a little off track. Don't worry, I'll get back on track here in a second. But here's a small snippet from that particular video that you guys saw a little bit of the B-roll footage with Sartain. Alex was Playing with Fire, who he's on with. But of course, the video was, is it creepy for younger women to date older men? They were having a bit of a conversation about the DiCaprio situation. Another reason why it is that, you guys will see obviously a little bit more in the Love Sop video, but I want to go ahead and kind of play this little section for you guys now, so that way you guys can see exactly how out of touch some of these women really and truly are, especially when it comes to men.
So one of the things that happens is there's 2 parts here. One, we're going to look at what they call the Peter Pan syndrome, where a man continues to. So here's the thing: you're looking at the 50-year-old man and his wealth, and you're like, oh well, he should have just got married at 32. What if he wasn't wealthy at 32? I can tell you, a lot of guys, they become more established later in life, and they had to work really hard to get to that level of comfortability and wealth. And then all of a sudden they're like, you're selfish for not creating a family as soon as you can. When in reality, like during his early 20s, he had very few options with women. And now he has more because he's finally put on some muscle. He has some gray hair. Like he actually at some point in his life can afford a house, maybe 2 houses, maybe a car, things like that. He has some level of financial freedom. This is the first point in his life where he's actually turned into the 21-year-old hot girl.
I don't think
exactly what he said. Maybe he did not actually start making money or anything until he was 28 years old, or maybe he wasn't in a position where he could actually date anyone for 20 years. I don't know about you guys, but I've always been poor and broke, and I've never been able to keep relationships. I'm not going to lie to you. I've never been the most stable when it comes to that topic, and obviously I'm getting up there in age. The point is this right here. There's obviously a lot this woman right here does not understand about the guy she's seeing, but of course, 28 years old, pretty well conservative. Trust me, that guy will find a woman at a later date. He was obviously done a favor. However, I did tell you guys that I thought that maybe something else was in fact at play, so let me go ahead and get to that to kind of close out the video. I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. I believe that the guy in this situation dodged one hell of a bullet, like an absolute hell of a bullet, getting away from that chick there, if she did in fact break up with him. However, I don't believe she did, and I'll explain that in a little bit in this video, a little bit later on towards the end. But the thing is this right here. Abortion rights, very, very pro-abortion. Here's the thing about being with a girl who is extremely pro-abortion along the lines of what she is, which, by the way, I can tell you right now, I think a lot of this crap right here with her is fake, but I'll get to that more towards the end of the video. If you knock her up, if you get her pregnant, maybe she finds out, of course, which, by the way, she will obviously find out that she's pregnant before you do, is a possibility that she may go into an abortion clinic and may abort your child without you actually knowing. Women are pretty good at hiding stuff. And by the way, I'm not saying don't trust women. That's not what the hell I'm saying here. Obviously, you will meet a good one someday. The point is this right here, especially with the way things are today, and of course, seeing how it is that women are shifting more and more to the left, and men are shifting more and more to the right. Yes, trust factor is obviously going to be an issue, and politics is obviously going to come up. There's also something else, too, that I'll get to here in a second about this woman being completely and totally out of touch, especially when she mentioned the guy's age. But I also kind of find it funny how it is that she talks about him being in Indiana. It's almost like maybe she's in another state. That right there might be, I'm not saying that's a big deal, but still, though, it seems more to me like maybe it might have been a long-distance relationship thing. But also something else, too, to consider is that she's almost pretty much not giving him the credit he deserves, but she keeps on telling him to research things. I hate to tell you guys this, but 99.9% of the time when you actually choose to vote for a candidate, you're doing it based off your current circumstances, and you're also doing it based off of your current situation in life. Maybe money is not good at this moment in time. Maybe you're not making as much money. Maybe you made more money under the previous president. Maybe you were given a chance to put him back in office. Stuff like that there. Also, overall opinion. Something else, too, that I found very, very interesting was she herself even admitted that she was bombarding him with politics constantly and telling him to do research. Look, if you keep telling a man that he's stupid and keep undermining him and keep talking to him like that there, if you keep talking to me like that, definitely I'm just going to walk the hell away from you, or I'm just going to clap the cheeks and send your ass packing. That's really just how the hell I am. I don't mean to be a dick or anything, but if you keep pretending like I'm stupid when obviously I'm not, that's obviously going to be an issue. It's a respect thing, and I think that what happened in this situation, you guys will see a little bit later on towards the end of the video, is that, yeah, he did in fact dodge a bullet. But to close out this video, guys, let me go ahead and tell you what I think is going on here, and you're going to hear me talk a little bit more about this in the follow-up video, and it's this right here. I think that this girl right here did not break up with him. Either that there, or she did break up with him and he wasn't really and truly that bummed about it. I said earlier that I was not the best in the world when it comes to relationships. It's because I'm not the most stable in the world, mostly due to money. However, there have been situations where a girl has ghosted me or just outright just said no and just took off on me, didn't really let me know anything, but I found out maybe a little bit later on something that I probably should have known at the beginning. Or she did, in fact, tell me that she wanted to end the relationship, and I was so daggone stressed out. I was like, you know what, just take off. I mean, I didn't say it like that right there, but you're actually doing me a favor. Once you get older, you start to realize things like this. And the real age that a man begins to start seeing stuff like this is really right around 26, 27 years old. It's one of the main reasons why it is that I believe you're going to see a massive dating imbalance as far as ages are concerned here in the next few years. This guy right here, 28 years old, he'll probably go the next 7 or 8 years, maybe 10 years, getting his life together, and he'll probably find a girl when he's like 40 or 41 years old who's probably like in her early to mid-20s, maybe even going into her late 20s, who knows, very, very fertile, who's probably closer aligned to his values. which I'll talk a little bit more about that in video number 2. But I think what the hell really happened in this situation is that the guy, either A, he broke up with him, or B, it's possible that she broke up with him and he just didn't really and truly care. I mean, she did act like he was living a great distance away. He probably felt that maybe she was doing him a favor. I mean, you're saving him gas money is what the hell you're doing, especially if he lives in Indiana and maybe you live somewhere like, say, Illinois. Yeah, he's got a ways to drive. And, of course, the Biden economy, especially when it comes to gas prices, wasn't exactly a money-saving venture. But there is also another possibility that I didn't really and truly think about, and it's this right here. Maybe politics really and truly had nothing to do with this relationship ending or this 5-month situationship ending. Maybe that didn't really and truly have anything to do with it. Maybe this girl right here is just simply playing up to her followers, because this thing right here originally went viral on TikTok, and then it was placed back on Twitter. So it could in fact be that there, which of course is obviously its own phenomenon. But we'll talk more about that there in video number 2. Either way, I want to kind of start this video out. Let's kind of start this week out with this little psyop and how it is that you can't change crazy. And of course, they just get more and more, they somewhat get more conservative over time. But I just want to kind of start the week out on that right there. Make sure you guys please hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sign off in the comment section, and I'll see you guys later.